Good afternoon, children. I am Mrs. Shivie. Welcome you all on my channel English with Shivie. Once again, I welcome you all in my channel. Today here, I am bringing the live class for you for standard 10th students, and we will read the chapter 10th of this book, and its name is The Sermon at Benares. Here is the story about the sermon, the priest, the monk who is going at Benares city, and he started to do the meditation there. How he was there to give the preachings, to give the morals to the public, and how the effect was there to be imprisoned over them. So the story belongs the priest and how he has started his life. So let's start the chapter. Gautam Buddha, 563 BC, 483 BC, began life as a prince named Siddhartha Gautam. I think that each and everyone is knowing about the name Siddhartha Gautam. His name, princely name was Siddhartha Gautama, and he was the prince. And after some times, when he leaves the house, then his name occurred the Gautam Buddha. And Gautam Buddha started his life in 563 BC. BC means before Christ. He was there in before Christ in 563 to 483. So he started his life from its name Siddhartha Gautama in northern India, and he belongs to northern India, and he started his life from there. At 12, he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later, he returned home to marry a princess. When he was 12 years old, then he has to send to the another school for the study, for the education, and the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later he returned home to marry a princess. Means he had to go in the school for taking the education from the scriptures, from the holy books. So he came there for So he went there to take the education from the holy books, which are pious and sacred of the Hindus. And after taking the education for the 4 years, he had to come to the kingdom, and he had to do the marriage from the princess. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. 10 years have been passed to engage in that married life, and they were having also a son, and as befitted royalty means the son who was not able to live in the royal life, in mortal life. He was not feeling good to live in that life. At about the age of 25, the prince, heretofore shielded from the sufferings of the world. So the prince who get the birth there, he was not feeling good to live in that royal monastery, and in the age of 25, the prince was feeling suffering, was frustrated from that life and of that world. Here before, while out hunting, chanced upon a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk begging the ends. So whenever he was wandering here and there after the kingly richness, he has to come there on the roads to do the hunting. Then he used to see the calmness, but he was seeing that there are so many sadness, there are so many problems in the world. Like the aged man, the old person are there and they are feeling sickness, they are not doing their life properly, they are not spending their life in a proper way because of the old age. And also he was there to see the funeral procession. Funeral procession means जो last ceremony होती है death body की, वो देख लेता है. Funeral procession means he is seeing the dead body which is going to be burnt. And also he is also seeing a monk, and that monk is begging for alms. For alms means charity. He is asking the money for the charity, means दान ले रहा है, दान मांग रहा है. So these sights to moved him that he at once went out into the world to seek enlightenment concerning the sorrows he had witnessed. Enlightenment means such the spiritual knowledge or the spiritual inhabitants he is wanting to search. So he decided that he cannot see this type of problems and the sorrows. So he has to go in search of the enlightenment, in search of the knowledge which will be given by God, and it will be spiritual. So he is saying that he doesn't want to feel these type of sorrows, and he also wants to get rid of from that sorrows, and also he also let the people want to free from that sorrows. So he wandered for 7 years and finally sat down under a peepal tree. As for the 7 years, he wandered, he roamed, he moved here and there in the world, and at last he sat down under the peepal tree to do the meditation. Where he vowed to stay. What he was taking the promise, he was taking the oath, and he vowed to stay there. He took the oath there that he will remain there in under the peepal tree until enlightenment came. जब तक उसको एनलाइटमेंट नहीं मिल जाता है, जब तक उसको ज्ञान नहीं मिल जाता है, स्पिरिचुअल ज्ञान नहीं मिल जाता है, तब तक वो वहां से नहीं उठेगा. सो ही टुक द ओथ, ही वाज टेकिंग द वो, एंड ही डिडंट गेट अप फ्रॉम देयर. Enlightened after 7 days, he remained the tree, the Bodhi tree of wisdom, and began to teach and to share his new understandings. Enlightened after 7 days, 7 दिन बाद जब उसको थोड़ी सी ज्ञान आया, थोड़ी सी रोशनी आई, चमक आई, then he renamed the tree. जिस पेड़ के नीचे बैठकर उसने ज्ञान प्राप्त किया था, then he renamed it as Bodhi tree. Its name is द ट्री ऑफ विजडम, मीन्स ज्ञान का पेड़. तो उसने उस पेड़ का नाम ज्ञान का पेड़ रख दिया, द ट्री ऑफ विजडम, एंड बिगेन टू टीच. एंड ही स्टार्टेड टू टीच द पर्सन, द पीपल, द सफर्ड पीपल, द डिप्रेस्ड पीपल, एंड ही वाज आल्सो wanting to share his feelings, his understanding, his knowledge, his wit among them. At that point he became known as the Buddha, the awakened or the enlightened. Buddha means the awakened, and enlightened means जागरूक व्यक्ति, ज्ञानवर्धक व्यक्ति. तो उसका नाम बुद्धा रख दिया गया. So from that time he called as Buddha, because he was sharing his enlightenment, he was sharing his knowledge, he was taking away the sorrows, the problems from the public. So now this time he was giving the enlightenment to the problem, to the suffered person. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Benares, most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganges. That sermon has been preserved and is given here. So the Buddha preached his first sermon or the city. This time here sermon means the religious talks, the moral talks. So this was the first time when Buddha started to preach. Buddha started to teach, to share his feelings, his enlightenment in front of the city of Benares. And most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganga. It is also famous now for the river Ganga, the past river Ganga. So he also wanting to take the bath, dipping, bathing. So he also was wanting to take the pious bath in that pious river. So that's why he was having the motive to preach the people and to take the bath in that pious river. The sermon has been preserved as is given here. So the religious things, the spiritual things, the moral ideas and talkings were given by him to the sorrowful or depressed person. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. Means inscrutable kind of sufferings, the problems which cannot be understood, which cannot be curable. So he was giving the preachings, he was giving the learnings to the people. So they were having, the preachings were having the reflection, the impression over there on the people's mind through the Buddha's wisdom. Means Buddha was having the knowledge, the wisdom, the wit. So through his wit and wisdom, he was sharing his preaching among them, and they were satisfied, and it was being reflected there with his knowledge. Kisa Gautami had an only son and he died in her grief. She carried the dead child to all her neighbors, asking them for removing, and the people said she had lost her senses. The boy is dead. Kisa Gautami, the female, the lady was there and she was having a son and he was died in the early age. So she was there to carry her son, her child, the dead child body there near Buddha and asking, wanting to take the body near Buddha, but she was not knowing about him. So she was taking the dead body and she was moving. She was asking about his death and about his enlightenment, but no one was there to give him idea or give her idea. Neighbors also were there. He was asking the medicine for cure her and he was asking the treatment, but no one was there to give any medicine or treatment. Some people said that she had lost her senses, the boy is dead. So many people were there and they were having the senses that and having the fun on her that she has lost his senses and she was not knowing that he is died, her son is died, and even then he is wanting to take to give the money to him. So they were having the fun on her. At length Kisa Gautami met a man who replied at her and request, I cannot give the medicine for the child, but I know a physician who can. After some time, too much far away place, she went there and she met with a person who was knowing the remedy, the medicine, and he was giving the reply to Kisa because she was asking the request, she was asking the remedy. So he was saying that he is not having any medicine for his child. Thy child matlab your child. So this is the language of Shakespeare. So he is saying that I cannot give any medicine, any remedy for your child, but I can give you the knowledge. I can let you know about the man who can do this. And he is saying him as physician. So he is giving the instruction that he is knowing about a person who is physician and who can give the life to the dead person maybe. And the girl said, pray, tell me, sir, who is it? And the man replied, go to Sakyamuni, the Buddha. The girl was excited. Kisa Gautami was excited and She was requested to him to let her know about the name of that person and the place and the area where he will meet with him. So the man replied that replied to go to Sakya Kumari where the person will be met. And he is saying that he is called to be Sakya Muni and his name is Buddha. So he gave the idea to go to Buddha. Kisa Kotmi repaired to the Buddha and cried, Lord and Master, give me the medicine that will cure my boy. She went there near Buddha and she was requesting, she was asking, and she was saying that here is my son, and you are there to cure my son, and give the medicine, give the remedy for my son. He is not getting up. So she was asking the remedy from Buddha. So what the answer will be there for the remedy, what Buddha will say to her, and which type of enlightenment will be there, the rest story will have all these answers. So we will continue the chapter tomorrow. It will be end up to here.